You have to come. I'd never been to Texas before we moved here. Isn't that crazy? We just packed up and moved to a state we'd never even visited. Which kind of leads me into my story, our history. If you've met me through LuLaRoe, then I wanted to just share a little bit more about me. Let's see. I'm from Oregon. I think most of you know that by now. There might have been a misunderstanding that I'm from Alaska, but I'm not from Alaska. I am flying home via Alaska Airlines. I think that confused a few people, but I am from Oregon. Whoop, whoop. Hi, Megan. Megan's from Oregon too. How funny is that, right? I instantly connected with her when I found out she's from the same area as I am. Born and raised. My husband was also born and raised in the same town as I am from, just a few miles down the road, which is pretty cool. We met each other through our tiny little county fair. We are from a very small town. So I currently live in Hutto. Hutto is considered small. 20,000 people or 15,000 people or whatever this is not small. We're from a town called Colton. The next town over is Molalla, and then most people are familiar with Portland. That's kind of the area we're from. And the actual town that we lived in was tiny. We had 3 churches, a school district, and a few gas stations with a fire department. Nothing else. No restaurants. Well, there was a cafe, I suppose, but that was closed down half the time I lived there. I don't think that counts. So there was nothing out there, just farms and trees and beautiful Oregon. And so my husband and I met through our county fair, which was fun. We knew each other for years. We became best friends, went to a couple dances together in high school, and started dating when I was 16. We've been together since I was 16, minus I think 2 week-long breakups. I think I broke up with him once and he broke up with me once, but were just petty little things from high school. So that is kind of our story in a nutshell. We born and raised in the same town, not very far from each other, and we've been together for 11 years, going to be 12 years in October. We've been married. It will be 7 years this August. We have 3 kids together. You've probably seen some of their pictures across Facebook. If you don't know me personally, I feel like I've met most of you now in person at least once. But if I haven't, hello, and thank you so much for being a part of my shopping group. Okay, so fast forward a few years. We have Avery and Grayson, so we had 2 kids, and we were living in a little old rental house in Molalla, which is just a little town. And I worked full-time at a doctor's office. I was a medical assistant, and Aaron worked with his dad doing directional drilling. What that is a whole nother story. It's not oil drilling, though. It's construction work, and that's what he did right out of high school. But he always wanted to be a massage therapist, and so we decided, since I had a good job, that he'd go to school and do that. It was something he always wanted to do. And so he enrolled in massage therapy school and watched Avery. At the time, I was pregnant with Grayson. And I worked up until I had Grayson, but I always knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was always there for us, took us to school, volunteered at our schools, picked us up when we were done or when we got off the bus, that sort of thing. And so there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to stay home. I did not want to work. And so when I was getting ready to have Grayson, I just had this overwhelming feeling of a little bit of sadness and a little bit of guilt because I didn't want to go to work anymore, but I needed to. And there just was no other option. Aaron was working at a spa at the time, which was great, and he was enjoying it. He was really good at what he does. He still is a great masseuse. No, being a massage therapist wife, you do not get very many massages. Just going to throw that out there. But that's what we were doing, and I stayed home from work one day because I thought I was in labor, and I went to the hospital, and I was in labor, and I had Grayson, and So I called the doctor's office and I said, I'm not going to be in next week. We're going to have the baby. And during the time that I was home with him, another job opportunity came up to do the directional drilling work again. This time not for his dad, but for another company that was working just right around our house. And so we were like, I don't know. Is it going to be worth it? Is it too good to be true? That sort of thing. The pay was great. It would have allowed me not to go back to work after having him, having Grayson. And so I was like pushing big time. Like, you get to work right from down the road and it's going to be amazing. And I don't have to go back to work. I don't have to go back to work. I don't have to go back to work. That was my like driving force. And so we did it, and it was great, and I didn't have to go back to work, and I loved that. Not long after that, though, I want to say Grayson was only like 3 or 4 months old, maybe 4 or 5. The same company had some work come up out of town, though, and we'd never done that. And so we're like, okay, I guess this is just part of this job, and it'll be okay. You'll go out of town for 2 or 3 days and come back, and it'll be no big deal. Fast forward, that went on for a long, long time. He was going out of town for a minimum of a week at a time and coming home just for the weekend. Most of the time it was 2 weeks away, and then he'd get 4 days off. I think we went a stretch as far as 5 weeks without seeing him, and that was really hard. At that point, it was really eye-opening that is just not normal. It was normal for us, and it was kind of sad to admit that. It was normal to live week to week, just myself and the kids, like a single mom. But it was hard because we would just get in the swing of things and just get used to being independent and kind of get our flow down. And he would come home, and we were super excited that he was home, that it was almost like a vacation, and things would just kind of go haywire. And then he'd have to leave again. And we'd get back in the swing of things, and, the cycle repeats. Well, then he would be able to come home for long stretches, which was great. And then we'd get into a new cycle and a new flow, and Daddy was home all the time, and things were great, and then he'd have to leave. So as you can see, it just wasn't stable. It was really hard to have him traveling all the time, hard on me and on the kids. And we kind of just thought that with the kids being as little as they were, that it actually might be better because they were young, they weren't in school, and so he wasn't missing out on outside of the home activities necessarily. He did miss out on some holidays and things, but it got harder the older they got. They started to understand how much time he would be gone away at work, and that made it really hard. Sometimes he would drive, sometimes he would fly, and so I just remember times where we would have to drive him to the airport, and kids would be screaming and crying, or they wouldn't want to go to bed at night because they knew that the next day Daddy would have to go to work, and it was just really hard. It was a hard season, but we made it work, and we did what we had to do, and we had a great support system around us because the area that we lived in, we lived with my mother-in-law, which was great. She was always there to help us, and she's watching this now. Hi, Kim. And we loved it. We lived on her farm. We had chickens and trees and coyotes and dogs and a creek and a pond. I mean, it was great. But he was missing. He was missing from everyday life, and that was hard. But my mom lived right down the road. We saw my mom all the time, and family we were really close to our family. So fast forward now, we did this for about 2 years, I want to say. It was about 2 years. We lived with her for 2 years, so yeah. And another job opportunity came up with his dad, who owns the company that he works for now. And his dad is from Oregon also, but he was working down here in Texas and was like, this is a great deal. It's long-term work, and you're not going to have to travel and all of that kind of stuff. And so we thought long and hard about it. And I think we even were pretty sure we weren't going to do it because we didn't want to leave. Like, we'd never been to Texas ever, never once. And we still laugh now because if you asked us 3 years ago, if we ever thought we'd live in Texas, we would tell you no. Why would we live in Texas? But it kept coming up, and we realized like we had to have him home. That's just not a good way of life. Our marriage was fine. The kids and his relationship was fine, but he just wasn't there, and he had to say goodbye so much and miss out on so much stuff. So we just jumped in. Benefits and things were a little bit better than the job he currently had. But we'd never been here. We didn't know where we were going, and we just took a leap of faith. We just felt like if it was meant to be, it will be, and it will be great. And we are in Texas, obviously. It's hard to be away from our family. It's not always great. We're very sad sometimes, but he's home every day. I haven't had to spend a night without him since we've lived here for a year, and I would be so sad if I had to. To be completely honest, I don't know how I would do it now because I'm not used to it. But over the course of that time, I got pregnant with Ellie, and then we moved here. We were living with his dad in his dad's rental house, and so we moved from Oregon to Texas, pregnant with a dog, 2 kids. We had a baby, we bought a house, and we moved again, all within like a 3-month period. It was insanity. It was pure craziness. We got our keys on Leap Day of last February, bought our house, and that was it. Things were going good. We moved into our house. We had both sets of our parents had come to visit us, grandparents, close friends. I mean, things were good. I'm telling you a novel. I just realized I'm so long-winded. But things were going good, and it was about the time right before I left that I was introduced to LuLaRoe and the clothes, and I thought that these people were crazy. Like, sure, leggings are comfortable. I wear black leggings every day. But, like, zebra prints and french fries on your butt, like, I just didn't get it. And I really wanted a pair because they looked really comfortable and lots of people were buying them. And so I was like, I moved to Texas and I had Ellie, and I'm like, you know what? I know that consultant in Oregon, and I'm going to buy a pair of leggings from her because I want to, right? Why else? I want to try these leggings out. So I bought a pair, and then I bought an Irma, and then I bought another pair, and you kind of know how it goes from there. They were comfortable and they were amazing, and I just kept watching her on Facebook be really successful, and so I was like, I wonder if people sell that here. Lo and behold, they do. There's a lot of consultants in Texas. But there was a lady right in our town that sold them also. So I bought a shirt from her. I won a pair of leggings during a giveaway. She introduced me to the Carly, that sort of thing. And I was like, okay, I know a little bit about multi-level marketing, MLMs, direct sales, that sort of thing. And I had tried a couple companies in the past and failed at them. So what can I learn from those mistakes? And 2 big takeaways were I needed a sponsor that was successful, not financially, but had reached the highest ranks per se. That sounds kind of bad, but I wanted to make sure that I would never be able to exhaust their resources. I didn't want to exhaust their knowledge. I didn't want to surpass them. I wanted my sponsor to be up high enough that she had gone through the trials and the tribulations and succeeded in enormous amounts. But I also wanted her to be my direct sponsor. I didn't want to have to jump through hoops to talk to someone with that level of success. And so I Googled LuLaRoe and top leaders and all of that. And over and over and over, this same team came up, Girls on Fire. And so I was looking into that. I sent an email to the gal, and she actually had decided for herself that she wasn't going to take any more directs is what they call it, but a consultant that signed up directly under her because she had a full team and it was taking, she didn't want to sign on someone else just to sign on someone else. And I thought, that's pretty neat that there's enough integrity in this company that she knew she couldn't give me the attention and the knowledge and training that I needed, that she actually turned me away, but she didn't just say, no, I'm sorry. She led me in another direction. And I admired that a lot, and I thought, okay, there's even more to be spoken of the company then. The true culture of LuLaRoe is amazing. And so anyway, I was Googling others, and Joelle came up, who's my sponsor, and I went to her profile, and then all of a sudden it linked me over to that Girls on Fire team, and I thought, well, that's strange. I wonder how they're tied together. So, here I am, and directly above me is Joelle, who I ended up signing up with. She's a mentor in the company, but her direct sponsor is the other gal that I wanted to sign up with, Tiffany Cook. And so there's myself and Joelle and Tiffany, and then there's two others, and then there's Deanne, the owner of the company. And so everyone above me is a mentor, which is pretty rare. I'm on a really strong team. I mean, not to say that the other teams are not strong or amazing. They are. This company is built on a foundation of honesty and integrity and build each other up. They constantly are saying that rising sea lifts all ships. I think that's how it goes. I could have misquoted that. But it's not a competition. Other teams are not in competition with my team, and I love that. I can contact somebody down the road and ask a question, and they answer me because their knowledge is not secret. It's there to boost and build other people. So here I am. I signed up in November, I signed up in September. I waited my about 7 weeks to onboard. I got my call right before Halloween, and my first sale was November 7th. It was an in-home launch party, and it was really fun. There was a couple other different types of companies there, and it was a blast. It was a great way to kick it off. And so here I am, and I'm still selling LuLaRoe today, thanks to you guys and your purchases and hosting and all of that stuff. And so I just wanted to get on here and tell my story. I made my short little snippet video a few weeks ago. That was all great and dandy, but I thought if I'm live, you can ask me questions, and that would be kind of fun. So I want to open it up to questions, anything and everything, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. I think it's important to be an open book. You guys support my business. If you didn't shop with me, I wouldn't sell clothes. And if you didn't host parties and open up your homes to me, I wouldn't get to know you. And that's what I want to do. I had two ladies stop by today, and it was awesome. We sat down and we talked, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that this isn't just me selling clothes. Like, I have the opportunity to make friends and connect with people while we live here. Oregon will always be home to us. And so while I'm here, though, I want to make the best of it, and I want to meet some awesome women, and I got to do that today. And that is what inspired me to get on here and kind of tell my story, tell you about my team, answer questions about my team. I currently do not have anyone signed up under me, and that is for no reason other than it hasn't arose. I'm not going to go out and spam you to join my team. If there's somebody that has questions about selling LuLaRoe, I would be more than thrilled to answer them and welcome you onto my team and create my own team. But I want that to be organic, and I want it to be natural, and I want it to be a good fit, and I want this to last. The reason I sell the clothes is to provide financial freedoms for my family. Erin and I are currently using my LuLaRoe to reinvest into more styles at the moment, but I am setting a small amount aside every week to pay. I was setting it aside for plane tickets, which I reached that goal, and I bought our plane tickets back to Oregon in July. Yay! But now I'm using that same amount that I was setting aside for plane tickets to pay off consumer debt. So credit cards, student loans, that sort of thing. I am not worried about our car or our house yet. I will get there, but for now I'm going to pay off our credit card debt, and I'm going to use that money to fly our families home as often as we're able to, without dipping into my husband's income, which has been amazing. It was such a great feeling to know that my hard work did take us home in July. I love it. I love every minute of it. This is hard work, but it's It's amazing. And so, with that, does anyone have any questions? Any questions about me, about LuLaRoe, about the business, any of it, about the sale? Our albums are still posted until 10 o'clock tonight. I would love to ask you to add some friends to our shopping group. A new set of eyes on the clothes makes a world of difference. Because something that you might have seen 3 times in the last month that no one has seen might be their favorite thing, and it's beautiful and it's theirs and it's calling their name. And because this is a business, the more I sell, the more styles I can carry. I want to add more styles. I want to offer you guys the Amelia. I want to offer you the Randy. I want to offer some kids' dresses. Like, the stuff you want, I want. And I want it for you. But without sales each week, I am not able to place new orders. I don't know if you know this about LuLaRoe, but consultants, myself included, we actually purchase this inventory to sell to you. And so some people are able to do that quicker than others, and I commend them on that. I place new orders the minute I'm able to. I am like itching to place a new order. I want to have enough variety in every size of every style I carry before I do that, but I definitely want to add more styles, and so I've got to keep selling so that I can keep ordering and I can add those new styles. So when you guys add new friends to my group, or when you offer to host pop-ups for me, I have the opportunity to sell more, but you also have the opportunity to get free clothes. So that is why I ask you to host parties. It's not to bug you or to get your money. It is simply to provide more for you and to give you free clothes for doing it. And they're a lot of fun. Shara and I had an awesome pop-up. It was so much fun. Online parties are so fun as well. This business has been amazing. It's a huge blessing. I brought in here with me my pamphlet so that I can read you the mission statement because, well, I've talked for so much time now that I forget it. That's bad. And I don't want to mess it up because it's an awesome mission statement, but I don't know where my pamphlet went. It might have fallen. Oh, well. I know it's on the inside of this box. Yes, Shara, I want to add the Randys very bad, and the Mays are adorable. Here's my mission statement. I have it written down, and I believe it 100%. I stand behind this company through it all. Here's the mission statement for LuLaRoe, though. I am going to read it. LuLaRoe, where through fashion we create freedom, we serve others and strengthen families. A place where lives are blessed and dreams are achieved through love, confidence, purpose, and growth. Those are their traits. That is the culture of the company. That is what is expected of us, to be honest and fair and loving, to bless lives, strengthen families, and lift each other up. And that is why there's no competition with this company. That is why we're here to serve each other and to grow each other and bless each other, and you name it, all that good stuff. I'm starting to ramble. I don't know what else to say. I can't believe I didn't even get teary-eyed. I just told you my life story, ladies. I hope you enjoyed it, because I hope you learned a little bit more about me and why I do this and why I ask you to host parties for me. So if anyone's interested in hosting a party, don't hesitate to ask. I am offering a fun little brunch pop-up. If you're interested in hosting an in-home pop-up, I will provide a light brunch at your event, so you don't even have to provide the refreshments. I come in with the clothes and the food. You just bring your friends and shop. There's no presentations, and it's a lot of fun. So that's always out there on the table to host. But I do ask that you add your friends to our shopping group. Don't add them just to add them, though. Add them if you think they'd love the clothes. Add them if you know they love the clothes already. New eyes on the clothes are going to equal new styles for you. Let's see. I'm going to read through some of this here real quick. Erica, I can relate to that 100% with the husbands working out of town. It is so hard. Thank you, Michelle and Shauna. I'm glad you enjoyed my story. Shara, I want the May too. I love the Mays and the Randy. Randy's a great tea. Yes, Megan, we can totally set up a pop-up. We could even plan it out into May if you'd like. I would love to do that. Does anybody have any questions for me at all after I just spilled my guts to you? I'd love to answer any questions. I'd love to show you anything if there's any styles you want to see. The albums are still posted, of course, but I thought it might be more fun to chat tonight than to show you leggings. Plus, I just showed you leggings last night. But if you got your eye on something behind me that you want to check out, I've got 5 racks of beautifulness in my closet right now. Not my closet, my garage. Cynthia, that's okay. I am going to post the gut spill. It's nothing too gutsy. It's just my story, my why I'm here, and why I love this company. Are you going to bed?
Yep.
I love you. The other half of this is going to bed. All right, ladies. Thanks for hanging out with me. I don't even know what time it is. The albums are going to come down at 10. If it's 10 already, I'll keep them up for a little bit longer, but I am going to pull the albums. I've got a lot of leggings to fold. Yes, Cynthia. So the size chart for one size is about a 2 to a 12, and a tall and curvy is about a 12 to a 22. I can fit into both. I'm one of those lucky in-betweeners. Good night, Megan. Thanks for coming over today. I hope you love your Julia. And I had a lot of fun giggling with Lily and her independent purple sweater. All right, ladies. I'm going to head out. Cynthia, if you have any questions about sizing, please message me or comment on the pictures in the albums. And I will talk to you all later.